Welcome back, guys. So this is my weekly Mount Rushmore video of some kind of category, so the top 4 in a specific category. Today's one is going to be about WWE, specifically WWE masked wrestlers, because if I were to just go masked wrestlers, I don't know Mexican history well enough to comment on that, and then I'm just going to make myself seem silly, and that's not what I'm about. So the top 3 is going to be fairly obvious, but I still want you guys to hear my reasoning for all of it. Now, the number 4 spot, I debated amongst a couple. I debated amongst Vader, Fiend, Hurricane, and a couple more. But ultimately, Vader was very close, but Vader's impact on WWE was not long enough, not big enough. One of the best big men, don't get me wrong, I'm absolute massive Vader fan. One of the best big men ever to do this. But in WWE, no, he was misused in WWE. To no fault of his own, and one of his final things he did was he said, I'm just a fat piece of beep. And just no, what did WWE do when they had the mastodon? Look at what he did in Japan. Look at all of, just no. So ultimately I excluded him from this. So my number 4 spot is going to go to The Fiend. Now, I recently did a video where I spun for a wrestler better than Hulk Hogan and landed on The Fiend, and I said yes, and that got the comment section sparking about how great Hogan is and how bad The Fiend is, and somebody even in the comment section said that he's glad that Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, the person, passed away. How can you say something like that? First of all, the man is an absolute creative mastermind, absolute genius. The stuff he did creatively will be extremely difficult to replicate. Why I included him on this list? When he debuted that Fiend character, I was absolutely glued to every single segment he did, whether it was the Uncle Rogers, Bray Wyatt character, the Firefly Funhouse, or when he came with his alter ego, The Fiend, when he did the Fiend belt. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I think everything the Fiend did, and the mask that... So, I love horror movies. That's probably why this list is going to be heavily weighted in that direction, except for maybe one entry. I love horror movies, and The Fiend was like a horror movie character come to life. The pants was a traditional kind of strongman pants with the guy that hits the big the guy that lifts the big weight at the old school carnivals. Just everything he put that together was just it made sense. That character made so much sense, and that mask was completely terrifying. Next, we've got Mankind. Mankind, as you know, one of my personal favorite wrestlers of all time. He's on my personal Mount Rushmore. I just think he's the nicest guy in the world. Obviously, I don't personally know him, but from everything I've heard, from all accounts, just the nicest guy in the world. When he debuted in WWE with that Mankind character, the range pulling out his hair, living in the boiler room, having this separate song for entrance and exit or outro, whatever you want to call it, everything just made sense for this character. The mask, just enough to see humanity, but hiding just enough to make him a mystery. That is what made him so disconcerting, that you can see this humanity behind there, but is there really, or is he just this masked menace? The sounds he made in the ring, like squealing like a pig, everything just added to the presentation of this character. Now, obviously, he had to evolve the character. He did the white shirt with the tie, everything, becoming a corporate guy, all of that. The Dude Love, I was never a big Dude Love fan. Cactus Jack, everything just evolved his character. But Mick Foley, that original Mankind, just incredibly good. Next, we've got to speak about, it's gotta be Kane. Why not Kane? Just the slit of his mouth that made him seem unhuman. Just enough space for his eyes, and I'm talking about the original Kane mask. Well, pretty much most of the Kane masks were pretty good. Just enough space for you to see there's eyes underneath there, but there's nothing, no humanity in those eyes whatsoever, just nothing behind those eyes. Absolutely terrifying. When he debuted, I was 11 years old. I just got into horror genre, the likes of like slasher genre. I just got into that but what does that say about my upbringing? That's a question for a whole nother day. And this was literally a slasher character come to life. That slow, methodical walk, just destroying everything in his path. Should he have ever unmasked? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. I personally didn't like it, but they said he was not a big fan of wrestling with the mask. It restricted him from breathing, all of those kinds of things, which I can understand. He didn't want to wrestle with a mask his entire career, but just that mask, the debut, everything about the presentation was just absolutely 10,000 chef's kisses. And then lastly, how can you not have a list about the greatest masked wrestlers in WWE if you don't have Rey Mysterio? Obviously a merchandise machine, arguably top 5 high flyers and top 5 luchadors of all time. Again, I don't know Mexican wrestling history well enough to 100% make a definitive statement on that, but for me, arguably, definitely, or for me personally, definitely top 5 high flyers and top 5 luchadors of all time. One of the greatest underdogs of all time. Won a Royal Rumble, won multiple world championships, just done everything in his career. And as of time of recording, he's still working and he's still moving like a guy half his age. Absolute surefire, going to go down as one of the goats of high flying and masked wrestlers just in general. What did you guys think of this one? Who did I leave out specifically in WWE? Until next time, hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.